Good afternoon. I'm Delit and I love cross stitch. So today I'm going to share with you the magazine, The World of Cross Stitching. And this is an older issue of the magazine. I think it's from 2007. It's kind of hard to tell in this magazine. They don't just have it printed in a nice, easy to find spot. It's a very nice magazine. It comes from England. It's a little more expensive, but it's a nice thick magazine and really well done. It has these nice thick paper for the cover. The pages are bigger. The charts are printed bigger. Color charts, really, really nice. So there's a lot in it, and I've tried making the video before, and it just took so long to go through it. So I think we might skip over some things just in the sake of time. But know that the World of Cross Stitching has a lot of patterns, and it has a lot of articles and interesting features in it. We'll take a look at what's on the cover. So you can see there's a variety of different kinds of projects, a lot of little projects. This is probably the largest project in the magazine. This is a really beautiful pattern for a kitten that they have in here. They have some very unique kinds of designs, even if they are smaller. So one of the nice things that World of Cross Stitching does is kind of recognize people a lot. So we have our editorial, and then you'll notice down here, these are their designers. Some of the designers that designed the projects, you have pictures of each of them and a little information about them kind of right here at the front. You know, they're the ones responsible for the magazine in a way, even though they're not the ones who put it together. They're the ones who did designs that are featured in the magazine. Then in their table of contents, they have the British magazines have a huge table of contents with lots of pictures to help get you excited about what's in their magazine and what you'll be stitching. I usually show you up close, but we're just gonna have kind of a broad overview of that. They do this nice little thing called Meet the Panel. They have a panel of readers that they feature in their magazine who give their opinion on a design, like which one of the ones they like. They give a cross-stitching tip, say how long they've been cross-stitching, where they're from, a little bit of information about them, give you the chance to do it. They let you know how to get involved and do that, and then they give them a prize. In this case, they gave them a nice book. They also have pictures of the people working on the magazine. So it's a very nice way to involve people in the magazine back in 2007 when you didn't have Facebook and Instagram, and people just people wrote blogs back in 2007, but there wasn't as much social media for sharing ideas and things, but they were doing that in the magazine. For people who want to know what came before social media, you had newspapers and magazines and newsletters, and people just didn't communicate as often, but they still communicated. This is Tom Mouse. He's a country companion, which is a series of designs that DMC has that you'll often find in these British magazines. And there was a little kit that came with this magazine. It was like glued to the front of the magazine. So this is one of the reasons you'll find these magazines like shrink wrapped when you go to the store. If you buy it, that's how I bought all mine, was in the store. I did not travel to England and get any of them there. Nor have I ever had a subscription to one. Um, you'll find out just why that is not great with this magazine for me. Um, Anyhow, so this came with this a paper that looks like this, and I still have it. I haven't stitched this yet in 16 years. Um, but the design, the pattern is only for the head of the mouse. They don't give you a pattern to stitch any of the rest of the picture. And that's something that I don't really like about when they send the kits is that you're only going to stitch a small part and then the picture frame is the rest of the picture. So if you were to lose the picture frame, then you can't really use the design. It has to have, it kind of doesn't make sense without the picture frame. It's a cute design though, and they show you how to use the mount, and you can win prizes. Um, they have a lot of that with these kinds of magazines. These are some of the other country companion designs that you can get. And then like they even, for somebody who's a beginner, and when they see the magazine, they see this simple little thing to stitch. It's just a few colors, a small, um, not a lot of, like it's all in one place, so it's not complicated to stitch. They have instructions for how to get started with cross stitching. And that's the sort of thing that might happen when you see a magazine like that. You might buy that for someone, even if you know how to cross stitch, right? You might buy it for someone that you want to get them started. Like maybe you have a niece or a granddaughter or your own child, and you want them to, you're getting it for yourself, but you're like, here, you can learn how to cross stitch and you can make the little mouse. Um, and here, they even have a little instruction section for you. So then they have a letter section. And like I said, I'm going to try to skip through things. So I'm actually going to skip through their letter section. It is 4 pages long. They give a lot of space for the letter to be printed, for them to give a nice long response. A lot of the responses are short, but the letters are sometimes kind of long. Then they have a subscription star of the month where they gave a prize to a few of their subscribers in different places that would win like a little pair of scissors or a kit with scissors, or they have Stitching Genius of the Month. Somebody sends in a picture of something they had stitched. This was a little t-shirt that went on a teddy bear, or that they put on a teddy bear. And then because of how clever that was or how cute it was, they her prize was like towels and hot pot holders that have even weave on there or Aida that you can stitch on, and really cute. But I wanted to show you the kitten design. This is, I think, my favorite kitten design anywhere. Pamphlet, book, magazine. It's beautiful. When I say, oh, I love this design, but you know, I have another one of this same thing. Certain things are really popular to design and cross stitch. Cats have to be one of those. And so when you say, oh, that's a cute kitten design, but if you have 5 different kitten designs, then it's which kitten design do I want to do? I really like this one. If I was going to do one, not just the cat, but the flowers and the fruit, just all of it is really adorable. But they show you some more kits by the same designer, Anne Mortimer. Yeah. And I'm going to show those to you. And you might pick your favorite if it matches the cat that you have. I don't have cats. Never have. I know people who have cats, or like my little brother had a cat. Never was my cat though. My sister had a cat, but it wasn't my cat. So I guess I see it different. Um, for me, it's just which cat do I think is cute, not which one reminds me of a particular cat. But I do feel that way somewhat about dogs, so I can understand somebody who had a type of dog might want to stitch that breed of dog because it reminds them of their dog. They also show a lot of things that you can buy, and there are a lot of things here. I'm not going to show you the whole section, just the product that I thought was really neat, which is these items made out of mother of pearl that you could put your floss on. Then they had a bunch of different like kits and other things that you could buy. And they have a section of like events going on that you might want to get involved in. They have a bunch of little motif designs that are like from Aboriginal art from Australia that you could use to make a bookmark or a card or a gift tag or something not very big. Um, Maybe you could make a sampler and put it in a frame or make it into a pillow. Um, they have these little heart-shaped things that you can stitch with like a phrase and a little symbol of like bumblebee or flower that you could put it in a flower pot, when you want to give somebody something and make it extra special. And then they had a feature about the lady who designed them, and her name was Rona Nori. And they asked her a bunch of interesting questions. You can see her designing something right there, the um, pattern. And I think the articles are interesting to read. They asked her questions like, if you weren't a cross-stitch designer, what do you think you'd be doing instead? And this lady said she'd be teaching more taekwondo. You might not think of a cross-stitch designer that way, but that doesn't mean they don't have a wide variety of interests. This is the reason I bought the magazine, this beautiful pattern right here that's a family tree. If you're going to just buy a magazine in the store, pay attention if the whole pattern is in the magazine, because I did not. And I didn't buy the next issue of this magazine. I don't know if I never saw it coming, like if I looked for it but was unable to find it. That could easily be. But I never got the second half. So there's only the top half of the pattern in this issue, and the bottom half is in another issue that I never bought, and now I don't know. It would be hard to find. It's not like American magazines that people sell at their yard sales and have in the thrift stores. These you don't find as easily. Anyhow, then they have a nice big section on oh, I wanted to tell you with that design what I liked so well about it. I love doing family trees, and there's a variety of different kinds. A lot of them give you a place to put the couple, their last name, their marriage date, their children. Some of them let you do multiple generations, but sometimes they're very confusing. But this one I thought was very clear about who the married couple was. These are the children down here. And then you have each side of ancestors going around these two blocks in the middle, so they're kind of separated. And then they have little lines in here that show how the relationship works. If they're a married couple, it's like a line like this, and if they're a parent or a descendant, there's like a line like this, which I thought was really nice. So, and you could just adapt it so easily to a different family situation. Someone who had no children, you can just fill these in like with your own initials and the date when you stitched it and put little motifs in there. You could, for the ancestors going back, I think it would be easy enough to just put like a little word or phrase or initial or something, maybe some hearts or flowers or whatever in the boxes if you didn't have all of the ancestors going back. Or if there was someone you wanted to leave off for some good reason. I thought that it was nice, though, also, if you have someone that wasn't married, you could not put the last name up here for the family tree, and you could leave off the little line that shows that they were married. But you could still show that they were a parent by having the line going up and down. Because you don't have to. It says here, all things grow with love. Like you can take out those little things that are in there and put other images or words or phrases that um, makes it easy to adapt for those situations. I also thought for the child section, like if you have somebody that's like an only child, it wouldn't look so unusual to have one box that lists that child and then the other box where you put your initials and the date for having stitched it. And so I like that because, well, mainly I like it because it has the ancestors. And where I do genealogy, I really like that. It lets you go back so that you have look at how many generations you can get. That's what I like. You can get the children, the married couple, and then so that's 1, 2. Then you have, so if this was me, I could put me down here. I could put my parents here, my grandparents here, my great grandparents here. Do you see? And then go back from there to my great great grandparents, which I think take a couple of rows. I haven't seen a family tree that you cross stitch that lets you fit in that many. And you are back stitching their names in there and fitting things in really tight and without dates. So that's partly why that is. Other family trees sometimes use prettier alphabets and let you put in dates. But I really liked that. Just its versatility. Then they have a section with just what they call a design library, and it's all related to fantasy motifs. So you have fairies and dragons and unicorns and leprechauns and castles and a knight in shining armor. They're small, but you could cross stitch them like for a card or a bookmark, or maybe you could make your own sampler using those. And then they have an article about frames, how to choose a good frame or stand for holding your frame, or hoop. Even they have one for embroidery hoops. This has like a light and a magnifier. But this is 16 years old, so some of these products might not be available. It's from England, so they might be hard to get anyway if you're not from England. But they have 3 pages of it. They have a panel of people who give their opinion on it. They have 5 handy tips for frames, hoops, and your general stitching comfort. And then when they compare them, they say this one is easy to use and versatile. This one has it's the most stylish product. They give their opinions on them. Some of it you can kind of see. This is the most portable, as it has a nice little case for carrying it in and folding it up. I just think it's really nice that this is how I learned some of the things that I learned over the years was by reading what they have to say here. And then they had like websites and phone numbers and the names of different places where you could buy those things from. What I wanted to show you next is this beautiful pattern here called Charm and Poise. So I think this is a lovely pattern. Let me show you some of the details. I think that the little dog is so cute. The wisteria, especially the border, all the details about the lady with her dress, her flowers, her hair, her fan. Just lots of cute little details to that. The feathers in her hair. So I really liked it, even like the details on the dress. Wish I could let you see it as clearly as I can see it. Sometimes you lose a little bit by putting it on a camera. Um, Anyhow, they had a series. This was by Leslie Teare, Teare. I'm not sure if that's how she says her name. But so in a previous issue, they had another lady, and then they had another one coming out in the subsequent issue. So that was neat. They have something called Design Stitch Challenge. And this is your chance to be a published designer. So you could enter this contest, and they had a category for people who were under 16 as well. And so they had a variety of sponsors. They had a variety of magazines. So I wonder if all of these magazines had become associated at one time. From another video, I understand that certain magazines got bought out by World of Cross Stitching and they went under. But really, they might have been owned by World of Cross Stitching for a while before they just did World of Cross Stitching, because they're listed in here, different ones: Cross Stitch Crazy, Cross Stitch Card Shop, the World of Cross Stitching, Cross Stitch Gold, and then several like websites and things. So I think that they were all done by one group or something, to meet the different kinds of interests that readers have. So Cross Stitch Gold would have had patterns that are more challenging. This is kind of your standard or average sort of level of design, um, because it has, like the lady that I showed you, it has the cat. It even has a large project with the tree. None of it is super complicated though. Cross Stitch Gold would have had more challenging and larger projects. And Cross Stitch Crazy would have had projects, and I'm going to make a video where I show you Cross Stitch Crazy, that are a little simpler or easier, quicker, maybe appeal to somebody younger. And then Card Shop does cards, so they're very small designs, usually pretty simple. So this contest, they gave you all the different rules, and you just could, this was your chance to get your chart printed in a magazine. And it said this month is your last chance to enter, so get designing. I love it when they have the design contests. I think those are neat. They had this citrus alphabet. I am going to show you this because I think it is so cute. Each letter of the alphabet with a different citrus design. So they don't show a picture of all of the letters, but they're all kind of on that order, where you have a different citrus fruit, orange, lemon, or lime, and then sometimes with the flower, but usually just like a green slice or a yellow slice or an orange slice. Anyway, I thought it was cute. They have this designed to be stitched on a tablecloth for sunflowers. Really beautiful tablecloth, and then this is also really pretty. And so you could buy this special tablecloth that has like a section of Aida that you can stitch the sunflower on, or you could find another way to stitch your sunflower on a tablecloth. But they, anyway, they have a section here where they show an advertisement of the different types of designs and tablecloths. I'm not sure if it shows up really well. The tablecloth has a really pretty design already done in the fabric that you wouldn't stitch yourself. so that even before you stitch your part, the cross stitch part, it's already a very pretty tablecloth. It's not a very large tablecloth, so it looks like something that you could put on your table with like a bouquet of flowers or something else to look pretty, and then take it off before you served any food so that you didn't ruin your pretty stitching. So anyway, then they have some more designs in here that I'm not going to show you. They have a kind of more modern looking uh, design for an apartment with a cat. A very more less realistic looking cat. They have all kinds of giveaways. They have a way for you to order back issues, which I am going to show you that so you can see the kinds of designs they have in the magazine. And this little girl here, I think she's the equivalent of Holly Hobby. And so you can't really find her here in the US. You can find Holly Hobby, but they're similar. Anyhow, and they have their own little binder that you can store these in. Like I said, they're larger, so they don't fit in my 3-ring binders. They kind of would stick up and out. I keep them, I use like a scrapbook, like for a 12 by 12 inch scrapbook, where you can insert something in. Depends on the style of scrapbook. If you could find the right kind, you can stick these in. And they protect it. So again, lots of giveaways. I am going to show you this little dog. It's really simple to stitch. He's so cute. Misty the dog, Misty the West Highland Terrier. Maybe some of you are more familiar with dog breeds. I'm going to show you this because these are some interesting products. I don't know if they're still available, but I know sometimes people are looking for these kinds of things. I really like this for holding your chart. And I like the one that has the light attached. This is really cool so that you can put it on your armchair. And then this is still a chart stand. So there's lots of, I've seen lots of frame stands, but not as many chart stands, although some like frame stands have a place for your chart. This is something unique that they did. There are other British magazines that do it, and once in a while I've seen it in an American magazine, but not generally. A crossword related to cross stitching. Maybe it's not related to cross stitching. A long-eared animal. That's not cross stitching. But every now and then, sometimes they put things in here. No, this is just a crossword. Some crosswords are more related to cross stitching, but you can win a prize. So you send in your answers, and you can be the person who wins this prize of floss from Madeira. I don't see the Madeira here in the US, but maybe it's something you can find easier in England. I just wanted you to get a view of the Madeira flosses. I know they have silk flosses. This showed metallic flosses as well. I don't know if they do the cotton floss. Then they have a nice advertising section. Back when you had a lot more shops that you could go around and shop at, there was a reason to advertise in a magazine for your shop. Now everything is online, and there aren't as many shops to order from. This is a brand of frame stand, so I just thought I would show it to you, even though maybe you can only get it in England. And actually, maybe you can't get it anymore. It's been 16 years. They may not make them anymore. Out of business. They always show you what was coming in the next issue of the magazine. I'm sad I didn't get it. I would have loved to stitch the little babushka dolls. And they often give a prize when you subscribe. They have like a little gift, and they have little giveaways. This is a Flower Fairies kit. Again, notice that they have a frame that you put over. Here's what you stitched. You don't stitch this. It's just on a piece of paper. But some people don't want to stitch that much. They would like to have the bigger part of the picture on the paper. I guess I feel like you can buy a print and frame it if that's what you want. You can cut it and adapt it for your cross stitching if that's what you want. But so I like to have the cross stitch. This is really nice. This is a section on how to cross stitch. They give you so much useful information and so you show you some great projects. Even showing you how to do fractional stitches, which is, you know, another level up from just stitching regular whole cross stitches, is being able to do part of a cross stitch with one color and a part of it with another color. And that's very good. And then they have a section in the back where, in order to show you, I have to cover up their little charts. We'll see if I'm good at it. But I thought that they had, sorry. Well, there we go. That's the way to do that. Here we go. People wrote in and said what they would like for them to design for them. Just a small design. So they wanted a gymnast and they wanted bluebells, both of which I would like to stitch. I think they're really cute. I know other people for their unfinished projects have some big fancy design they've been working on. I have the little gymnast somewhere that I was making for my niece. And I could have finished it, but like, I haven't given it to her, and now she's 14. I guess she's still an age where I could give it to her. She never did gymnastics, though. She wound up doing karate. So I don't know, maybe the gymnast is a little tame. I started cross stitching something for that too. A lovely design that I haven't finished with pearl cotton. I found a great coloring book and thought I will just design my own little thing for her. But it got put up because I had a problem. And anyway, I really enjoyed showing you the world of cross stitching. Sorry for going through it a little faster. But yeah, there is a lot in it that they still help make this. You can still get a subscription to the World of Cross Stitching. You can still go out to the store and buy it. I recommend that you do that if you see that you think it has some designs that you might like to stitch. I know if it's shrink wrapped, it's hard to tell, but go ahead, splurge, spend the $10, buy the magazine, and you might find that you really like it. From another person's video, I understand that they've changed the magazine somewhat since they ended the other magazines to try to kind of incorporate the things that they had in those magazines that they didn't have in the world of cross stitching. And but they still, the kitten, wasn't that just the cutest kitten and the cutest little dog? And I'm really glad that I spent that money on that magazine, even if I still need to stitch the designs. If you have any comments for me, leave them in the section below.